TV. Today we're joined for Morning Coffee by entrepreneur and creative director Amanda Navai. Good morning, Amanda.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for joining us. And to kick things off, can you talk us through your morning routine?
I usually wake up at 6 a.m. I lay in bed for half an hour, defrosting, as my friends call it. But I try to think about my day, what I'd like to accomplish on this day, what are my priorities. And then I start emailing. So I'm 2 hours behind when I work. I'm in Lebanon. So then I make some phone calls at between 7:30 till 8:30. And then I go work out at 9.
Okay. And can you tell us what first drew you to designing handbags?
I think I always wanted to be or become an entrepreneur. I just never knew what, and I was really open to anything because I wasn't stuck on a certain industry. There was a while I wanted to open up a cafe. I want to have an ice cream truck. I just want to have my own business. And I was at a conference listening to the motivational speaker, Sahar Hashemi, who was the founder of the Coffee Republic chains in the UK. And, you know, it was great listening to her because I never started my own business because I always felt like I have to have an invention or I have to have something that was very unique. And I never felt I had that. So in her talk, she said that's the biggest mistakes that people that want to become entrepreneurs do. They feel like they have to have an invention. So she's like, you don't have to reinvent the wheel, just improve it. But she said, find something that you really love, because if it's something you love and you're passionate about, it's not going to be work. And I've always loved handbags. So
Perfect. And what can we expect to see from you this year?
So my 20th season is coming up. So I think you can expect to see a lot of bling and a lot of just celebratory items that are going to be, you know, statement pieces.
Okay. And what advice would you have for aspiring entrepreneurs?
I think the number one advice I would have is like, don't wait until it's perfect, because nothing will ever be perfect. You kind of just have to start, and you will have the most valuable and useful lessons through the mistakes you will probably do. And I think when I look back at what I was doing 3 years ago or 6 years ago, I'm like, oh, it's so awful, because you're always improving, you're constantly moving forward. So I don't think people will ever strive perfection. You know, we're constantly perfecting ourselves.
Okay. And what would you say is your biggest achievement so far?
I just think to have been able to manage to stay in the same point of sale, which is Bloomingdale's, where I launched in 2010. A lot of people don't realize how difficult it is to actually stay within the store. It's very difficult to get in, but once you're in, you're actually now competing with the best of the best. And for you to be able to stay there, you always have to be a part of a certain ranking in store. And, you know, in the beginning, you're trying out new things and this and that, and everything is new. And, you know, when you embark on your 20th season, you're almost competing with yourself. You know, you're like, oh my God, what should I do next? That's going to be so amazing that I haven't done before.
Okay. And what would you say is the biggest challenge?
Again, it would probably be, you know, to be able to stay in the store, to always have newness, because, you know, when I launched with a reversible handbag, and it really had like a power. I wish I actually had brought it along. But until this day, people are always so amazed. And then you have another thing. And for me, so the challenge now is, how do I come up with something that's really interesting and has that effect? So I think I'm my own challenge right now.
Okay. And what would you still like to achieve?
I really like to expand and launch in Bergdorf Goodman in New York. I'm very success driven, but I'm also very, I don't know what the word is, specific driven. Like, I know what I want. So it's not that I just want to enter into the US market or I want to launch and expand internationally, but it's very much that I want to be in that specific store and I want to launch there.
Okay. And who's the person that inspires you the most?
Honestly, I'm always inspired by my mother, just because she's very patient. And I think patience is the greatest virtue of all virtues, and I feel I lack that. Other than that, I'm really inspired by Rosamund Mungie, because the way she works, her professionalism, how she multitasks, how she always looks so good, how she always acts proper, and her attention to details. I feel like I talked to her with her for 5 minutes, and I'm just like in awe, because sometimes within 5 minutes I get so much out of Rosamund that she really astonishes me every time. And her generosity, she's so generous, and she's been a muse.
Okay, and do you have a personal and professional motto that you live by?
I think both personal and professional. I think when there's a will, there's a way. I always feel whatever you want to do, you can do it. It's just about how to get there and how to make it happen. I started my business with $5,000 on purpose. I've organically grown the business just because I wanted to be an inspiration to the average person, and for everybody to feel that they can do it. The lady I was inspired by, Sahar Hashemi, she had written a book called Anyone Can Do It. And I wanted to kind of make that live on.
Yeah.
And so you can't start a business with like 1 million or 10 million and expect anyone can do it, because not anyone has access to that amount. But most people do have access to $5,000, which it was first 2,000, and then after 2 months, it was another 3,000. And then I sold those bags, and then I bought more skin, and I sold that, and I made new bags. So it's kind of been an organic, slow growth.
Okay, great. And if you could give your younger self one piece of advice, what would it be?
It would be to have started this much earlier, because I was also waiting for that right moment. I didn't really believe in myself. I think there was a few times where I had opportunities, and I was thinking, wow, I can never accomplish such a thing. But today, I no longer believe in time or space or age. You can be 24 and you can just go for it and believe in yourself. So I think a lot of people out there are super confident from day one, and that's amazing. I think we're made of stardust, and there's a little bit of God in all of us, and we're afraid to shine, and we just doubt ourselves. So I think if we just trust that each one of us is a miracle, and we can accomplish miracles.
Okay, that's very nice. And what would you tell yourself 10 years from now?
I honestly don't know how I'm going to be in 10 years from now. I just think we have so many different chapters in our lives. I just hope that I, enjoy and experience as much as I can.
Okay. And as someone who works in the fashion industry, this is always a big question. How would you describe your style?
To be honest, I don't feel I have a specific style. I like people that can pull off any style. And so I kind of try to dress differently. But I think if I would describe myself in one word, or probably be like boho chic or rock and roll boho chic,
Okay. And what would you say no to?
Anything that doesn't make me feel good. I don't know.
Okay. And are you reading a book at the moment?
Yes, so I'm reading the book Sapiens.
Okay.
It's about human history and how we came about in this world, and just the history of us, and it just explains why we are the way we are, and it just humbles you, because we have civilizations that are just 3,000 years old or 5,000 years old, and when you realize how old the earth actually is, and everything that's been going on previously to until humans learned how to read and write, and kind of try to tell other people how things actually should be or are.
Okay. And for our final question, can you tell me how you'd like the world to remember you?
I think somebody that was a part of change.
Okay, perfect. Amanda, thank you so much for joining us
Thank you
today.
so much for having me. Thank you.
And thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.